all have a connection to the Congo. So about 80% of the world's sourcing of coltan comes from the Congo. So Father Jacques is going to be speaking about that. And international mining companies that operate in the Congo, there's very little legislation in place that holds them accountable for how they conduct their business in the global south. So currently in Parliament, there is a modern anti-slavery bill. It has passed the House of Commons. It's before the Senate. We have a problem with that bill, and that bill does not actually require corporations, does not hold them accountable. It's just a reporting mechanism. They report internally what they're doing as a corporation to try to limit the use of child labor or enslaved labor. But once that report is done, there's nothing that requires them to actually act upon what they've reported on. So we are asking people in this campaign to support Bill C-262 and Bill C-263. So the information is on the back. There's a QR code. If you put your phone and go to the QR code, it will lead you to where there's an online petition calling upon your member of parliament to support these two bills, C-262 and C-263. Those bills will actually have teeth if they're brought into legislation and will actually require Canadian corporations holding them accountable for how they do their business in the global south. So that's what we want to encourage you in terms of the advocacy side of things. Often people say, what can we do in response to what we've heard? So I'm just giving you a heads up. This is what you can do. You can participate in this way. So I just wanted to orientate you to these two pieces of literature that you have. And on that, I am going to introduce Father Jacques. Father Jacques is our guest speaker for our fall campaign. And we are spending a lot of time together on this journey. And every time I'm learning something new and additional when Father Jacques gives his presentation. So it's my honor to introduce to you Father Jacques Nzumbu.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. This is my first time here in Manitoba and in Winnipeg.
Welcome.
I'm very happy to be here in Manitoba, in Winnipeg. To begin, yesterday I went to visit the Museum of Human Rights with Peter.
Oh, yeah.
It was a nice place for me to discover the history of human rights and how Canada is doing the best to face this challenge of human rights. But I was looking something. I realized that in a huge map, you can see what in the world now we have a huge humanitarian crisis or war or genocide in the world. But I told Peter, I didn't see Congo. I didn't see Congo in that map. But all we know that after the World War II, the big conflict in the world, with a huge number of deaths, is in Congo. So between 1996 today, 10 millions of Congolese have died because of the control in conflict mineral wars in Central Africa region. So everybody knows that, and UN, at the nation, they have reports for this, but I didn't see it in that map. So for this, I can say, it gave me another, I can say, fuel to speak with you today, because this is a great place to share things. And I mean, this kind of sharing is important, that people can know the history of human rights abuses in Congo, in the link between minerals and our green energy transition, and also digital revolution. There is a link between Congolese war and the death in Congo and the digital revolution, and also energy transition here. So for this, for me, it is very important, and I want to thank you for coming. So I have some questions for you. You can reflect. So what planet do you want to leave to your children and to your children's children? What world do you want to leave to them? There is a red planet and a green planet. I mean, all of us, we want to leave to our children, to the next generation, a green and sustainable planet. This is our common challenge, because this planet is our common house, and we cannot destroy it. You have to think about those who are coming after us. So if you want to leave them a green, sustainable planet, we are called to make the energy transition. This transition is one of that goes from toxic fossil fuels to the clean and green energy. It is largely through clean energy technology. So if you want to leave to our children a green planet, we need to move for toxic energy, fossil energy, to the green energy. And in the world today, all the countries are making efforts for this transition. But this transition to green needs also green energy technology, like our cell phone, mobile, electric car, solar panel. Those are very important for a sustainable world. We need all of this for our future. We need it. But because of climate change and global warming, we are faced with a great challenge in our history to make transition from a red planet to the green planet. But be aware, this transition must not be made under the abuse of human rights, disregarding our environment and the fundamental economics and cultural rights of vulnerable people. This is the purpose of this sharing. So our transition cannot be made in abusing human rights, in destroying our environment, and abusing also children and women like in Congo. Because we will see children and women very, very vulnerable working in the mining. And then mining companies will buy these products. So downstream here will receive this product in our cell phone, in our mobile, in our electric car, in our solar panel. So we have to reflect, yes, we need green transition. Yes, we need transition, but also we need just, equitable, and sustainable transition. Not only here in Canada, but everywhere in the world. So we have to be aware of the all value chains of our green technology. Not only downstream, but we have to know also upstream where the mining minerals is coming, what is the way they are producing lithium, cobalt, coltan there for our mobiles here. So if clean and green energy technology are important in this transition, how do we produce green technology? How do we produce solar panel? How do we produce batteries? So they are obtained in large part with raw materials called critical or strategic minerals. Therefore, minerals are essential to those energy and ecological transition technologies. But where do these minerals come from? So we need also here cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, copper to produce the batteries. And Congo have 70% of the cobalt in the world. And cobalt is essential for all our phones, for all our electric car, for all our batteries in the world. So Congo now is under pressure. But if you see not only the batteries of today, lithium-ion batteries for today, but if also you study the future of batteries, 30 years after, 10 years after, how will be the main batteries? You will see that cobalt is essential. Lithium is very important for this. So Congo now is under pressure because all the countries, Canada, US, China, they want to go to Congo to have this product. Copper, cobalt, lithium, nickel, and how to produce their own independence batteries here in the world. Because the future, our economic future, is based on energy, new energy transition. So now there is a race, a great race of nation, power nation, how to stock cobalt, how to stock nickel, how to stock lithium for 30 years after. So Congo is under pressure. He has to produce a lot of copper, a lot of gold, a lot of lithium, a lot of cobalt. But how are we producing this in Congo? This is the problem. So you can see the map. Those are the country, the big players of critical or strategic minerals in the world. So my country, Congo, is very, very important for global value chains of green technology in the world. Very important. For this, I was saying that there's a huge race of global north and Asian, I can say, countries for going to Congo how to stock these kind of minerals. How do we produce our minerals in Congo? You can see that Congo have a lot of minerals. Not only cobalt, copper, coltan, we have also nickel, we have also niobium, all of that kind of minerals, very important for the green transition. But this part of Congo, the eastern of Congo, as I was saying, since 1994, after the Rwanda genocide, we are in war. So we have lost 10 million of Congolese. And in this part of Congo, in the eastern of Congo, we have update more than 400 rebel groups fighting the government, fighting against. And also, I can say, it's a proxy war for all our neighbors in Congo. Because multinationals, they come near Congo, they build hub there, and they can get coltan, copper, gold from Congo with the price is very low. So where there is war, the price of, I can say, the price of cobalt, the price of gold is very low. So this is very important for multinational to buy. So we have in this part of Congo more than 400 rebel groups there. But as we know, like now in Ukraine, you cannot be in war without support, without money. Money is very important for the war. It's very important. So 25 years, we are under war in the Congo. So who is supporting the rebel groups? So they need money. They need support for this kind of war. So the cobalt, the minerals, the gold is becoming now like a fuel for the war. And this is our problem, the problem of conflict minerals. Conflict minerals is the conflict where minerals, natural resources, is becoming like a fuel for the war. Because the soldiers, they need money for guns. They need money. And that money comes from multinationals. They need products. They need cobalt. They need copper. They need gold. They need tungsten for our mobile here. There's the link between global mining companies and the war in Congo. But in Congo, we have two systems of production. So we have in Congo, first, mining companies, and also we have artisanal mining exploitation. But both types of exploitation have significant environmental and human rights abuse impact. Mining companies pollute soil, air, water, destroy our forest, have a low wage in the works, have few number of works, but especially for foreign workers. The level of responsibility of those mining companies is very low. Some can buy artisanal minerals related to the conflict. And also, we can see that families in Congo is suffering for the relocation because mining companies, they need a large part of lands. And the government will come and say to people, you have to leave your village for mining companies. So they can lose all they have been and all they are because their own rights, the cultural rights, cemeteries are destroyed for mining companies. So as you can see here, I was there visiting a open pit mining company in Congo, in South Congo, in Lubumbashi. And the air is polluted there. And here I'm inside a cobalt plant here in Lubumbashi also. But in this plant, workers are not protected. So the condition of workers inside this plant is not good. And this is for all of mining companies in Congo. So in Congo, we have, I can say now, 80% of mining companies working in Congo come from China. This is the problem, from China. But 20% are from Western countries, including Canada. But as we know that 80% of mining exploration in Congo, they come to Canada to raise money. They raise money in Vancouver, Toronto, Ottawa, stock exchange stocks there. So this is also Canadian issue, not only for others. And 80% in the world of mining companies are headquartered in Canada. In Canada. Yes.
Because the government turns a blind eye to money laundering and the manipulation of the stock market.
Yes, there's a link. There's a link, yes. So, so many people, they don't know if their money is working in Congo for child abuse and for human rights abuse and women abuse there. So it's not very clear, but it is. We are linked with this because all I can say, mining companies in Congo, they raise money here in Canada. And who gives money have the control in ground there. So they can change the culture of mining companies in Congo if they want here. They can. This is our challenge with FITER. Yes. So I was saying that all companies, mining companies, I can say, are not only from China, but we have also mining companies coming from Canada here, from Canada. But the history of mining in Congo is very is a huge history, I can say. And what happened with Canadian mining companies operating in Congo? China is a new player. China is a new player in Congo. Even if now China have 80% of market in Congo, China is a new player. But before, I can say before, 80% of Congolese mining companies were coming from North America. North America. North America. So China have never begin mining operation in Congo. Never. China took advantage when cobalt, when copper were going down. So they bought from Canada, they bought from US mining companies. And after 2-3 years, cobalt and copper, nickel are becoming very strategically important. So now Canada, now US want to come again in Congo. So China says, no, I have the market here. So for the moment, we have a war in Congo between North America countries, principally, mainly US and China. Congo is becoming a battlefield for this kind of mineral now. In Congo, every day, we can read in the news the fight between China ambassador and US ambassador regarding minerals in Congo. Every day. Every day. Because North America, Canada and US want to build a new hub of batteries, independent batteries in North America. Because of the COVID and the war in Ukraine, and they need more energy independence. And this is the way to build a huge hub in North America, Canada and US. So they need raw materials. Because if you compare the number, the offer, and for the market, and the needs for the new electric car to the 30 years coming, it's very huge for North America. So the resources here in Canada is very small. So for a long term, huge economy, they need a lot of huge raw materials. For this, Congo is very important. So I can say that we have Canadian mining companies now in Congo working in cobalt, in copper, in gold. We know. But what is important is how can they change the culture of this kind of mining operation in Congo. So I can say that in Congo, we don't have clean minerals. We don't have sustainable minerals. We don't have just minerals. You can see here the air pollution of all mining, because in Congo we have, I can say, 100% of mining companies operation are open pit. Are open pit. Just Barrick is Canadian mining company. Barrick is the leader of gold in the world. Barrick have a underground mine in Congo. And now also Ivanhoe is from Canada. Is building a huge mining plant in my country, in the southeast, with Kamoa-Kakula project. Kamoa-Kakula project is now the second large mining operation of copper in the world after Escondida in Chile. In Chile. This belongs to Canadians. So they are involved in our business in Congo. You can see the water is polluted, and also they are destroying our forest, because Congo have 60% of the African forest, not only minerals but also the forest, and the forests are very important for the capture of carbon, to balance our carbon. You see, when they are destroying the forest for mining and oil operation, we are also destroying the capability of Congo to capture carbon. So for the future of our country is a danger for them also, you see. And on the social level, Congo is not taking advantage of mining exploitation, of mining operation, mining industries in Congo. No. You can see the road. There's no road there. So here I was going to see the leaders of mining companies. So there is no road to go where they are operating. There's no road. So I broke my car down because I was I was not, yes, I was working with my friend of mine. We're going to talk with them, to talk with mining companies, leaders, and the road was very bad, and I broke my car down. So I can say this social, corporate social responsibility of mining operation, mining companies is very low, very, very low in Congo. Very low in Congo. So we don't have sustainable mining here. So I can say that what is interesting here is this mining in Congo is cheap. It's very cheap. Mining operation in Congo is very cheap. This is our problem. So I will talk about it after. Mining is very cheap. And mining companies are taking advantage of this for global value chain market. So we need to change this culture, because clean, just, sustainable, green mining is very, very expensive. It's very expensive. So we need expensive mining operation in Congo. So the mining companies have to invest in the people. They have to invest in the new technology, avoiding pollution. They have to invest in roads. They have to invest in the process, new process. So this is very, very demanding for them, they say. But who is paying? It's Congolese. People is paying. If the minerals is very cheap, so the people is paying. It's paying. People is paying because we'll see children, we'll see women, we can see violation of human rights. Because there is no high level of, I can say, of standard for mining companies. But another, apart from mining industry, we have artisanal mining exploitation. This also is a very huge issue for Congo. What is mining? What is artisanal mining? As you can see there. People, youth, children, women, they are going underground with arms to look for cobalt, to look for coltan, to look for nickel, to look for gold. They can go there for a day. And women here, women can see women there, they are washing cobalt and copper. But this water is very toxic, polluted. And so we can see, we are seeing diseases in pregnant women. And where the women are working, we have a lot of testimony of violation of women there. So they are going there for $1 per day. $1. So they will sell this cobalt to mining companies. And mining companies, through value chain, will sell it here. If we cannot buy directly cobalt from Congo, but we will buy it in our mobile, in our cell phone, in our tablet, yes, coming from China. Because China have 80% of batteries market in the world. So, if we don't buy directly cobalt, we'll buy it through our end users. And like end users, as consumers, we have the power. We have the power to change things in Congo as consumers. So this is my work when I was in Congo, yes. I was working not only with mining companies to raise awareness, but also I was working with government and also with local communities. Those are suffering. So here I'm working with them to see what they are. You can see here we have also children. The impact is children labor, child labor. This is not a history, it's the reality. I was there. This is my photograph, myself. So children are working because the family are very, very poor. You see, in south of Congo, southeast of Congo, we have 200 mining companies. All of them are multinationals, all of them. But there is no jobs for local peoples. You see, and for this, the family cannot send the kids to the school, and children are working for their family, but the place of the children is the school. Can we accept here batteries coming from this kind of work? I don't know. So I was there working with them to try to withdraw children, to try to think alternative economic and possibility for children and women who are abused there. This was our work as Jesuits in Congo. And we built the link with Jesuits in Canada. How can we work together to withdraw these children, to help the women in this kind of situation? How to think about alternative economy, how to think other things for children there. Because if you build a school, it's very important for them because there is no school there for them. If you build school, it's very good. But if they don't have money, the family, to send the children to school, it's the same problem. They will not go. It's a systemic problem. We have to think about another model of life there. Yes. It's very huge for us. And mining companies are working together with politics. So there's a link between politics and mining companies. Even though in Congo we have a good, very good mining legislation, but it is not enforced because of the corruption of the government. The link between government and mining companies. This is our problem. So the civil society is challenging a huge problem in Congo. For this, we need more advocacy together, not only in Congo, but also outside the Congo. How can we build advocacy network? And I mean, if here, outside of Congo, the government and the people said that all our mining companies have to operate in Congo responsibly, I mean, this can have a huge impact in our Congo because our economy in Congo is not diversified. So we depend, I can say, 90% on mining. So mining companies, they have a huge power in Congo. See, they have a huge power in Congo. If they don't give money to the government, we don't have a budget in Congo. So if they change the culture, if here they ask them to change the culture, so mining companies can have a soft power, very, very important in Congo to change the thing in Congo, can change the Congo. Just I want to play a little movie. We will see how children, families are working in the mining. No, it doesn't work. The video, no. Yes. No sound, but just to see how they are working. It's a family. Street are working. It's not acceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. So I went there to see, to investigate, and publish my report. And I was working also with Santa Clara University, US, and with Intel, powering our country. Up to after this, they invited me to Germany to the speaker tour. I was invited in the German parliament, in the Bundestag, to tell the same history. Because in Germany, they need our minerals in Congo because of Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, so they need batteries for the change. So they were making a new legislation how to protect children and women in Congo. So I went there to tell them the history, and also I met the Volkswagen, the Mercedes leaders. So we need a just, we need sustainable, we need equitable transition. So this is the same. Here, women are working in the water, and this water is very polluted, as I said before. So here we can see how they go underground to look for minerals. They can go 100 meters shift there without safety protection. And I can say every day there are people who are killed there inside the pit. If it rains again, they can have an accident there. So my work was to tell them how can them work with safety, because for the moment there's no alternative for them. So we have to think other thing. for them. When mining companies is having a huge money, but local people don't have anything. This is a huge conflict we have now in Congo. And as I was saying before, this is the example of conflict minerals. You see here, one soldier is guarding artisanal miners who are working for him, for his boss. So when people are working for rebel groups, this become conflict minerals. Because rebel groups, they want money for guns. And this is, the war is not end, cannot end. Because the war is becoming an economic opportunity for others, for small groups of rebels. So when war becomes economic opportunities, to end the war is very, very complicated. This is my experience. Because where we are seeing death, destruction, others are seeing money coming because of war, because of guns, how to make industry of guns, how to send guns. See, they need money for this. It's a business for them. It's the same in Congo. So from 1996 today, we are 10 million of Congolese have died because business is becoming a root of this conflict. And human rights is not important for them. They forget human rights for money. Yes. So the question is just, my God, why have you abandoned me? So for most Congolese, women and men, this is our huge question. My God, why are you abandoned me? There is no issue for us. It's a conflict very long conflict in the world. But there is no resolution for peace. But we know that if we can change with supply chain, with diligence, and with compliance for mining companies, and global value of batteries, we can change the things in Congo. So, what mining? I was saying that mining and mining investment in Congo are the cheapest in the world. The mining companies collect the minerals, make huge profits and over profits with the little technological social issues, investment. But the Congo is paying a heavy price. Cheaper minerals cannot improve Congolese living condition and human rights, is my conviction. So if you want to change this dynamic, we must, this is my question, we must accept here in the West, we must accept to pay high prices for our tablet, for our electric cars, for our batteries, for clean technologies. In this way, we will be able to ask companies to invest more in their responsibility to improve working conditions and processes. The technology, the practices, the culture, and to invest in truly conflict-free minerals in Congo and in the world. But if you want to continue our life, to live as before on a cheaper model, the heavy price will always be paid by the poorest in South, in Congo, in Africa. See, that's the question. If we improve works condition, if we respect human rights, if we withdraw children and women who are suffering in the supply chains of batteries, the input of this will be to raise the battery price for Volkswagen, for Tesla. And the adoption of electric car or solar panel can be very tough for the Western country. So we are working on a cheaper model, but poorest in Congo is paying the huge tribute. For this, we need, as was saying Peter before, signs of hope. Signs of hope. So we cannot only say, my God, why have you abandoned me? I'm also very happy to be here with you. This is a sign of hope. So somewhere people can be aware and do something. For this, we are here together. And we can advocate for more due diligence for mining companies here in Canada and outside of Canada. For more compliance for mining companies and the global value chains of batteries. And for this campaign, how to change the bill is very important for us. And also, I will ask Peter, in this bill, how can we, the poorest in the global south, to have access in the justice through Western cooperation, through Western, I can say, civil society, NGOs. This can help a lot Congolese and South poorest people to have justice, because in our country, it is not easy to go to justice with Canadian companies in Congo. But how this law can help us to integrate, even if it is a national law, how it can help us to have opportunity through Canadians, NGO, to go to the court. This was my contribution in Germany. Because without the sanction, it is impossible to do mandatory legislation. Thank you so much.
So just to, on that point, if you recall, in 2015, the Trudeau Liberals had promised an ombudsperson for corporate social responsibility. In 2018, they made it public in terms of who was going to fill that office. Sherry Meyerhofer is the ombudsperson for corporate social responsibility. They had publicly said on their website that the office, the ombudsman office, ombudsperson office, would have the power to compel evidence and would have the ability, it had teeth to hold Canadian companies accountable for how they do their business in the global south. However, as we mentioned, Canada has a significant number of players in terms of the mining industry located here in Canada. So the industry had put a lot of pressure so that when the position was filled with Sherry Meyerhofer, yes. So when the position, is this on? Yes. So when the position was filled with Sherry Meyerhofer, her office ended up having only the capacity to make recommendations and not to...
No teeth.
And it has no teeth. So what we are asking, and again, if you see on the back of this document, if you go with the QR code, we are asking to support Bill C-262 and Bill C-263, both of which will require due diligence and will give teeth to the ombudsperson to be able to compel evidence. And because right now, if there's a complaint to be made from the Global South against a Canadian mining company, the process for which they need to go through to lodge their complaint is the threshold is very high for them to meet. But the corporations, the threshold is very low. So we need to change that around so that it's easier for people in the Global South to make their complaint and to get compliance from Canadian mining companies. So I just wanted to add that voice on there because of Father Jacques' slide point here in terms of signs of hope, the advocacy, and the way that we can make a difference here in the global north by calling upon our MPs to support legislation that is actually going to do something to change corporate behavior on the ground. So that's our call for you folks to respond in this way. We want to open it up. We are going to end by 2:30, but we want to open up a time for Q&A for you folks as well. And if we have people who are online for live stream, then we do want to make time available for your questions to be given online as well. So at this point in time, here in the room, we'll take a question first from somebody here in the room. Do you have a question for Father Jacques? Yes.
I'm curious that you said
You know what? If you can just say
okay.
your question.
I don't know if this is actually working. I don't know if it makes any difference. But okay. You said that your car was stuck on way to speak to the mining executives.
Yes.
Did you eventually reach them, and what was your reception? Did you feel you had any impact?
No, I know. Yes.
So the question was whether Father Jacques' meeting with the mining companies located in the Congo had an impact.
This was not the only time I was going to them. But here I was going to visit the headquarters of Rush Mining in Lubumbashi. But I didn't. We didn't reach. We were there about 6 hours. It was there. It was impossible to go to see them. But after we meet with them, and we communicate with them what we are seeing in, can say, social activities, engagement of the society, of the company there. And they say that, Mr. Jacques, our business is not to build a road in Congo, you know. Our business is not to build a road in Congo. We are here for business. So we give money to your government, okay? So ask to your government to build roads. This is the argument of them, all of them argument. But I say this. Did you read the Congolese legislation about mining? Our national mining code ask you where you are operating, you have responsibility because this road is not a national road. It's not a provincial road. It's your road. Every day, you are working here in this country, in this area, in this community, and our legislation asks you to build, to invest in the people, in the road, in the school. But there is no one here. It's your responsibility. What you are giving to the government is a mandatory. It's a mandatory for you. But your corporate responsibility, you have to do it. For this, we went as Jesuit and all of, I can say, civil society in Congo. In 2018, when we were changing, making a new mining code, we put all corporate social responsibility in the mining code. Now it's become mandatory. Because when it was voluntary, yes, to make the report, it was very difficult for us to have something. But now it is mandatory, but mining companies say that it is demanding for us. We cannot implement this law. So we have a new mining code, but the implementation of this mining code is impossible because mining companies are very strong, and there is a link, a deal between them and our government, some members of government. For this, the pressure coming where the mining companies comes can be very important for them because they have also accountability not only in Congo but here in Canada.
There is a good article yesterday in the Globe and Mail about mining in the Congo. So I would encourage you to go online for that article. And it goes very much into detail around the agreement between the government of China and Congo and the responsibility for the building of infrastructure within Congo, and how that aspect of building infrastructure has not been carried through. And so I encourage you to go to that article for more information that was in yesterday's Globe and Mail. It's very, very enlightening.
Yes, I can say about this that this contract between China and Congo was made in 2007, this contract, and was about a huge amount of money. So China will come in Congo to build roads, hospital, education for the people, and China will take cobalt, copper, nickel in Congo. You see, so the amount was just, I can say, 7 or 6 billion of dollars. But what they have taken is more than 100 billion through this kind of contract. This is a problem. So this a new mechanism of debt for the Congo, for those who are coming after us. Yes.
I want to see if there's a question online at all. I want to give space and time for that.
Nothing yet.
Nope.
People who joined late.
Okay. All right. Yes.
So, just to make sure that I have it clear, the bottom line is
I need the microphone over there. Just
Okay.
for the online portion
Sorry.
of it.
Do you mind just coming?
The people making
Actually, it reaches you. So there you go.
the people making the big bucks here are our governments as well as the corporations or the mining corporations? Our governments are making money by taxing these people? Or are they?
So you mean our government, the Canadian?
Canada, yeah.
Right. So, I would need more information to be able to answer a question like that. But to say that there is indirect benefit in terms of the government, to the point that a lot of consular officials operate in places like Congo to assist Canadian mining companies in countries like Congo or the Dominican Republic. Father Jacques, do you want to add anything to that?
This is, I can say, financial issues, no?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know exactly how it works here in Canada. But what I know is it's a global market. Like now, we can compare in mining super profit of mining companies with super profit of gas, oil, coal companies now during the war in Ukraine. So they have made a lot of profit. This company of oil, of gas. So in Europe, some government say that we have to tax the super profit. You see? But some others is saying that no. For example, Total France, in France, Total France, Health. Even if here in France, Total is an oil company, national company in France, is making super profit, but the exploitation, the operation of Total mining oil company is based in Nigeria, in Gabon, in Chad, in Africa. So this money, super profit, should go to Africa, where they are operating. But we, the government, we are taking advantage of this now. So it can be the same for mining company. When they raise a lot of money in Africa, they have to pay it here in the government.
Another question here at the back.
So my question is, if citizens in the West are aware of these issues and willing to pay higher prices for their electronics and devices with batteries, how do we compel companies to invest money in fair working conditions for the workers and therefore to charge higher prices for these products? Is that this legislation which we've mentioned here, the Bill C-262263, or is it some other action that is necessary for that?
I mean, the first one thing to do, the first step, is for me here in Canada to support this bill. This bill can be a way, a gate, when we can begin this kind of movement. Because during the past 11 or 15 years in the world, we have been seeing that the due diligence from companies in the world were mainly non-mandatory, was voluntary for government. So this is not working. It's not working. So the government is to impose, I can say, even if it's not our liberal, I can say, economic model. So the government, the state, have to do something. And we saw in the West with Dodd-Frank. Dodd-Frank is the Financial Reform Act in the US in 2010 with Obama, this is the first in the world mandatory due diligence for conflict minerals. It's the first one in the world. But when Donald Trump came, he withdrew the section for Congo because of the race between China and the US. The argument of Trump was this: if we continue to don't have access to Congolese market, we will lose the competition with China. You see? But now they propose another act, but still now it's not enforced in US. You see the problem. But if the government asks something, I mean, money companies can go ahead. As we are seeing now in Ukraine, I mean, the state has the power. The state is now again, because before we were asking between business and the state, who was the man powerful in the world. But with the war in Ukraine, we can see that the state is now on top now. How can you explain that in an open market countries like US, like Canada, France, how can you explain that the state can ask to Google, to Microsoft, to McDonald's, to withdraw in Ukraine, in Russia? How can you explain that a state can ask multinational to withdraw one country? You see, the state is now very strong because of the sanction. If you continue to do business in Russia, I will sanction you. And you saw that many of companies have left China, have left Russia. So if the state tell the same for those who are abusing children, women in Congo, I'm very sure that they will change the culture.
We've got about 6 minutes left, so is there another question? Yes.
I don't have a question, but I caught maybe there's a good book called China Unbound. I read it. It's I got it a year or so ago, and it's written by a Chinese journalist, a woman, and it really tells you how China is doing business throughout the world in the exploitation and throughout the world and gaining a lot of power that way. And I would recommend that book, China Unbound. The other thing, I just met a woman from the Congo yesterday in a class I was involved with, and she was very upset by the fact she was a professional woman that came from the Congo, but she was very upset that she wanted to send money to her family who were in need of money. They were very poor, having a lot of, as you're describing, the conditions of poverty, and the Canadian government or some authority is preventing her from sending money to her family. And I've never heard of that happening before, so I don't know what that's all about.
I don't know exactly what is the problem. I don't know if the problem, but what I know is that one reflection you can do you can make is this: inside I don't see the word in English. Oh, what can I say?
Say it in French, and then if somebody speaks French here, yeah.
No.
So go ahead.
La blessure.
A hurt, a wound.
A wound,
Wound.
yes. Inside the wounds of cobalt and lithium and copper in Congo, we can see the gold. And this gold is the women. They are women. So, inside this description of the death I made, there is a gold history of women, I would say. So, they are the person who are struggling a lot for their family, for our family.
One last question. Yes.
Will these minerals be exhausted at a certain point in time? Used up.
I didn't.
Will these minerals be exhausted or used up?
What do you think?
I would say yes.
What do you think?
It's not infinite, so at some point in time, there will come a time when it will be used up. But that's my... Yeah. Not in our lifetime. But if we have to have the mindset of, for the next generations, we have to constantly be thinking about what's sustainable.
Yes, I don't know. When I was in Germany, I asked to Volkswagen chemical and strategist, and I asked them if I can understand what you are saying. I can say that we in Congo, we have to suffer because of your goods here. He said, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this. It is not easy to make green technology. And I said, if you want to make us green, clean, and just technologies, equitable technologies, you have to go far. You have to go beyond raw materials. We in Congo, Jacques, I want you, like a scientist, to innovate something without raw materials. Yeah. So we need batteries without cobalt, without nickel, because it is impossible to say that we are doing green technology, we are doing green transition with raw materials. Unless we change the processes upstream in Congo, in Chile, in Indonesia, in Canada, unless we change the technology upstream, we cannot say that we are going to green, sustainable technology. It's the problem. So we can avoid today. We can ban today cobalt, copper from Congo. But the same problem will remain. The adoption of highest level of green technology. Somewhere people have to pay. If it is cheap, it's the problem. Like now, because of the geopolitics of war in Ukraine, we are seeing now in Europe the relocation. Some European companies, global companies, that were located in China, in India, is coming back again now in France, in Belgium, because of the independence, energy independence and sovereignty. This is very good. But meantime, here in Canada, in the West, in France, the wage is very high. You see? The wage is very high. So when companies come back again here, they have to pay more and more salaries. And we the people, we will buy things more and more very hard.
So the investors in those companies are getting more and more and more money.
More and more money.
So we have to address that as well as are paying more. They have
To change.
put up with less.
Exactly. That's what we are here. It's very important. Thank you so much. So because we are the consumers, we have power to tell to them. Yes.
S-
Question is the government of Congo is helping the people
Can
to get the children and the women out of Egypt.
Right. So that's a good question. The question is, does the government in Congo help its people? I do want to respect the time limit that we had identified. We said that we would be from 1 to 2:30. It is just a little after 2:30. So if people need to go, I want to give permission and space and time for people to go. But we can respond to some of those questions afterwards if people want to stick around for that. But I do want to say thank you to everyone. I want to find out the registration list. Where did that end up? If you haven't signed up or signed in, if you could put your contact information for us on that, I would appreciate it very much.
Yes, I can say that the Congolese government,
I will ask him.
the Congolese government,
Father Jacques, there's been a request because of your comments around the women. If you could do a prayer, a Hail Mary, as a way of closing, that would be appreciated. And then we'll move into the questions. So, can I hand the mic to you, or you have the mic attached?
we, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary,
Grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and in the hour of our death. Amen.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
May the Lord bless you all. The Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So we want to give space for people to leave if you need to leave, but and then we'll address the question that was asked in the back. And for those of you who are online, thanks for joining us as well.